Today we're going to be looking at colored pencils, texture, and color. With this lesson, we are going to be doing some muscle fibers and a hairstyle. With these, you're going to be choosing colors and your subject matter, either the muscle or the hair. So I'm going to do both with you all so you can see how both are done. This one right here, I've already started the muscle fibers on a neck. You can see there's my chin and my shoulders, and I already started with some texture with the neck going on right there. What I first did was I looked up an image, and then I sketched out the main shapes of my image. And you can see that it's not a fully complete one. I don't have a background. It's just a section or a portion of the image. And you guys can do that too with the image that you choose, unless you want to do a full image if you would prefer, or you can do a portion of it. Same thing with your hairstyle. You do not have to have a full face or anything, but I do want a complete hairstyle. When you are choosing colors, you need to think about your cool and warm colors to show your highlights and your shadows. The main color for your muscles is like a pinkish red tone. So to find out the highlights and the shadows for it, you can take a look at your color wheel. And you can see that there's our red or a pink color. The highlights are right next to it, and so are the shadows. So orange would be the highlights, and violet would be the shadow areas. You don't want to use a black colored pencil for shadows, and because it usually makes the drawing a lot darker, or it kind of makes it muckier looking. To keep your drawings nice and bright and appealing, that's why you would need to use colors on colors. And we did a rendition of this on our colored pencil sheet right here. It's not a complete one, but our color temperatures there, I used red. Violet's the cool or the shadow, and where the warm is, I used orange. And I will do a portion of the muscle to kind of show you how I did it and how you can do it. With this one, I'm going to do a section of the muscle right here, and you want to keep your pencils sharp so that your lines can stay small and have textures. Now with this, you don't want to do completely straight lines or even full lines. You can kind of go in and out with the colors. That's my red. I'm going to add some more pink. And it's okay to leave a little bit of the white showing through. Because the white will help it make it look shiny. Here's my orange for the highlights. You can see that I'm not like coloring it in. I'm doing it by longer strokes and some shorter ones. You need different colors to show your different textures, because if I were to color it all pink, then it would look flat like a cartoon. And we're going for more realistic. Now this muscle is sitting on top of this muscle. To help it make it look like it's sitting on top, I'm going to add a few more of the shadow color right next to it to make it look like the illusion of a shadow. And it'll help make it pop. Go back with my pink. Now right here is the bone, and your muscles are connected to tendons, which are the tendons connected to your bone. So it kind of looks like from my image it flares out at the end, and there's some little white tendons before it hits to the bone, and the bone's like a yellowish color. And that's my little section of muscle. And I'm going to do one section at a time and filling up the whole entire portion. Make sure that you leave your textures and your strands to show that, because the main thing I'm going to be looking for are your textures and your color choices. Now I'm going to go ahead and start an outline of a hairstyle so you can see how to get started. I'm going to move over and just use a smaller section of my paper so I don't have to flip my page. Let me pull up my image that I have already pulled. And with this one, you don't have to do the face. Well, I'm not going to do the face. I'm just going to be focused on the hairstyle. So this girl right here, I'm going to draw a mannequin head or just a blank head to kind of put it on. So I got this. You can see the side of her head and the back of her neck, side of her head, and her head is slightly turned, and her jaw kind of comes in like that. And I keep looking at my image to make sure I am doing it correctly. Her forehead is not that high, so I'm going to shorten it. And it sticks out just a little bit more. Trying to make it look realistic because I don't want to go for a cartoon. I want to go for realism here. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and do the sections of her hair. Kind of goes up and around. It's all nice and wavy. It's kind of parted right here. More coming around. We don't see her scalp that high. The hair kind of comes about right here. Curves around like that. That's parted. Right here comes a little bit. She's got a little section right there. It's all kind of wispy. Just a little bit more tame. And it's pulled around her neck. Just make it a little bit smaller to make it look more natural. There we go. Make that into a little wisp. And then here, to show some type of ending to her hair, I'm just going to add a little bit of different wisps going in and out to make it look kind of interesting to look at. So right now I'm just making different sections within her hair so that when I am drawing, I know which to put my strands. And instead of boring brown hair, which you would use, brown for your normal tone, blue for your shadows, and then a mixture of lighter browns and perhaps yellows for the highlights. But because I don't want to do brown, I'm going to do green. So I got my green, and the shadows, here's my green, my shadows would be blue, and my highlights would be a yellow. Okay, so just like I did with my muscles, I'm just going to do a part of the strands of her hair. I'm going to do, let's say this one right here so that we can kind of see and know what I'm talking about. I'm going to go in and out, adding a few strands here and there. Keeping within my section. Got normal green. I'm going to add like a little bit of a lighter green. I'm going to add my yellow for some highlights. And I'm going to add a little bit of blue for some shadow areas. And same thing with the muscles. This strand sits on top of this strand, so I'm going to add a little bit more blue where it's supposed to sit underneath, and that will help give the illusion that it's sitting underneath that. Go back with my green, clean it up a little bit. I'm going to leave a little bit of a white of the paper showing through to make it look like it's shiny. And voila, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more hair so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can see I have added a little bit more green to the hair and some more of the sections. And I'm drawing in the sections at a time, not going over it and getting stressed out or anything like that. And the shadow areas, especially with hair around the neck and the head, there's a darker shadow around there. So I added more blues right there to show that. The highlights of the hair, there's going to be more a little bit yellow on the top side to show the sun shining down on the head. And you can see right here as well that they are done in the same style of the shorter and longer streaks, not blending them entirely, showing the different colors through the different sections. With your drawing, you're going to choose one of these, a hairstyle or a muscle fiber. You're going to sketch the outline shape of it, like I did with the hair. Then you're going to choose your color or colors, and then you're going to start filling in section by section, showing your different textures. You need to fill up your paper. Don't do the little tiny ones and 2-in-1 or anything like that, like I did, unless you're going to do different versions within the same paper. Like you're going to do several small ones instead of one big one, showing your different types of textures. And have fun with it. This is a really fun assignment. I'm playing around with colors and textures and colored pencils.